Chapter 109. The Christians go to a place apart to pray. Jesus warns them against the leaven of the Pharisees and reveals the fact that all thoughts and deeds are recorded in God's book of remembrance, man's responsibility and God's care. Now, when the feast was finished, Jesus with the foreign masters and the 12, with Mary, Miriam, and a band of loyal women who believed in Christ, went to a place apart to pray. And when their silence ended, Jesus said, "Be on your guard. The leaven of the Pharisees is being thrown in every measure of the meal of life. It is a poison that will taint whatever it may touch, and it will blight the soul as sure as fumes of the diablos. It is hypocrisy. The Pharisees seem fair in speech, but they are diabolical in heart. And then they seem to think that thought is something they can lock within themselves. They do not seem to know that every thought and wish is photographed and then preserved within the book of life, to be revealed at any time the Master's will. That which is thought or wished or done in darkest night shall be proclaimed in brightest day. That which is whispered in the ear within the secret place shall be made known upon the streets. And in the judgment day, when all the books are opened up, these men and every other man shall be adjudged, not by what they've said or done, but by the way in which they used the thoughts of God, and how the ethers of eternal love were made to serve. For men may make these ethers serve the carnal self, or serve the holy self within. Behold, these men may kill the body of this flesh, but what of that? The flesh is but a transitory thing, and soon, by natural law, will pass. Their slaughter only hastens nature's work a little time. And when they kill the flesh, they reach their bounds of power. They cannot kill the soul. But nature is the keeper of the soul as of the flesh. And in the harvest time of the soul, the trees of life are all inspected by the judge. And every tree that bears no fruit of good is plucked up by the roots and cast into the flames. Who then shall you regard? Not him who has the power to kill the flesh, and nothing more. Regard the mighty one who has the power to dissolve both soul and body in the flames of nature's fire. But man is king. He may direct his thoughts, his loves, his life, and gain the prize of everlasting life. And you are not abandoned in your struggle for the crown of life. Your Father lives, and you shall live. God has a care for every living thing. He numbers stars and suns and moons. He numbers angels, men, and everything below. The birds, the flowers, the trees. The very petals of the rose he knows by name, and everyone is numbered in his book of life. And every hair upon your head, and every drop of blood within your veins, he knows by number and by rhythm. He hears the birds calling call, and he hears the birds call, the crickets chirp, the glowworm's song, and not a sparrow falls to earth without his knowledge and consent. A sparrow seems a thing of little worth. Yea, 5 of them are worth 2 farthings in the marketplace, and yet God cares for every one of them. Will he not care much more for you who bear his image in your soul? Fear not to make confession of the Christ before the sons of men, and God will own you as his sons and daughters in the presence of the host of heaven. If you deny the Christ before the sons of men, then God will not receive you as his own before the hosts of heaven. And more I say, fear not when men shall bring you up before the rulers of the land to answer for your faith. Behold, the Holy Breath shall teach you in your hour of need what you should say and what is best to leave unsaid. And then the Christians went again to teach the multitudes. That's one chapter from the Aquarian Gospel of Jesus the Christ. And for me, what struck me there in that particular chapter, chapter 109, is the particular word know, knowing. The fact that God is all knowing, omniscient, science, all knowing. And from your deeds and thoughts, words, or actions, or how many hairs are on your head, whatever the case, because God is the Almighty, the All Powerful, you're better off, you know, being a better person because you're not fooling anyone, whether you're religious or not. It's not religion that saves your soul. Rather, it's yourself. It is your ethics. It is your heart. So for me, in particular, I can only speak for myself. I came to the knowledge a couple years ago now that it's not religion that is enough to save me. Rather, it is myself. It is my heart. Religion is a vehicle, but it is not what is going to save me. And that is what I've come to know through the gospel, particularly this gospel, which I read to you this evening. And I felt that it's important to get that message out there, that it is your heart that saves you, not religion. So let us forget about the labels. Let us forget about our subscriptions. It is not at all to do with that. God does not care about labels. In fact, because God is omniscient, he does not have a name. We refer to him as God because of our limitations. But where we have those limitations, let us not limit God. Let us not equate God to us. Rather, let us equate ourselves to God when we're dealing with him. Otherwise, we can find ourselves falling foul of him in terms of blasphemy. And that's all I have to say on that subject. Thank you for listening. Feel free to leave your comments, your views, and let's keep this going. Thanks.